I got STD tested during a routine checkup, and my husband accused me of not trusting him. My husband Jake and I have been married for 7 years. We've been completely faithful to each other the whole time. Never even a question about it. Last month, I went in for my yearly checkup at the gynecologist. Just the normal routine stuff I do every year. The nurse was going through her checklist, asking me a bunch of questions, and at the end, she asked if I wanted to get tested for STDs while I was there. I figured why not? It was covered by insurance, wouldn't cost me anything, and they were already doing blood work anyway. I wasn't worried about it at all. I knew Jake had never cheated, and I obviously hadn't either. It was just one of those things where if it's free and easy, might as well do it. The results came back a week later, and the nurse called to say everything was negative and normal. I barely even thought about it after that. It was such a non-issue that I completely forgot it even happened. Then last night, Jake and I were watching TV on the couch after dinner. Some commercial came on for one of those at-home STD testing kits. You know, the ones where they're all serious about getting tested regularly. I laughed and said, "Oh yeah, I actually got tested at my last doctor appointment." I thought Jake would think it was funny. Like, haha, we got tested even though we obviously don't need to because we're married and faithful. But his whole face changed. He sat up straight and looked at me all serious. "You got tested for STDs? Why would you do that?" I was confused by his reaction. The doctor offered it and it was free, so I just said yes, it's not a big deal. That's when he got really upset. "It is a big deal. Why would you even think you needed to get tested? Do you not trust me?" I tried to explain that it had nothing to do with trust, that the doctor just asked if I wanted it as part of my routine checkup, and I said sure, that I knew the results would be negative, but he wasn't hearing it. He stood up and started pacing around the living room. "If you trusted me, you wouldn't have even thought about getting tested. The fact that you agreed to it means you have doubts about our relationship." I told him he was being ridiculous, that getting a routine medical test doesn't mean anything about our relationship. It's like getting your cholesterol checked. You're not expecting bad results, you're just being thorough. He shook his head. "No, this is different. This is you questioning whether I've been faithful. There's a fracture in our relationship now." A fracture. He actually used that word. Over a routine medical test that I forgot about for a month. I asked him why he was making such a huge deal out of this. Why he was so defensive about a test that came back negative. That's when he got even more angry. "I'm defensive because my wife doesn't trust me. Because apparently after 7 years of marriage, you still think I might be cheating on you." The whole thing spiraled from there. He slept in the guest room last night and has barely spoken to me today. He keeps saying that our relationship has doubts now and that he needs time to process this betrayal. I called my sister to vent about it, and she said his reaction is actually way more suspicious than mine. That if anything, he's acting like someone who has something to hide. Now I can't stop thinking about why he got so defensive over a simple medical test.